Good morning, Shabbat Shalom. Once again, it is our privilege to study Torah this morning with Rabbi Hillel Silverman. Rabbi Silverman, good morning. How are you today?
Good morning, Rabbi Feinstein. I'm fine.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
So we are in the middle of the book of Bamidbar, about to leave Mount Sinai. This morning is Bahalotcha. What words of wisdom have you for us this morning, please?
It's a very, very interesting Sedra this morning. Baalotcha, the book of Numbers. We read a section about the second Passover. They've been away for a year, and they would like to celebrate with the Passover sacrifices. And a group of men come to Moses, and they say to him, "We cannot sacrifice. We're not ready. We're unclean. We're tamei. We need to be tahor." Moses tells them, "I will return to you and tell you what the answer is to your request." And so he communicates with the Almighty. Moses returns, and he says to them, "This is the law. If you are unclean, if you are away on a journey on the Passover, then you can celebrate the next month. Instead of celebrating Passover this month on the 14th of Nisan, you can do all of this on the next month on the 14th of Iyar." That's a very, very interesting comment. A second opportunity, a second chance. I was once discussing the Sedra with a group of adults, and I came to the Pesach, the second Passover, and a man came to me and said, "Rabbi, I've done this before." I looked at him, I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "I was in the Marines. I was a major. We invaded Iwo Jima. We invaded Iwo Jima on the Passover. And so our Jewish chaplain had a second Passover, a Passover Sheni, a month later on the next month." What an interesting concept it is that we have a second opportunity. We have a second chance for mistakes that we have made, for decisions that were not very good, for the trouble that we've been in. A second opportunity. We have a second chance as parents. Perhaps we have spurned our mothers and our fathers. Perhaps we rebelled against them. Perhaps we belittled them. Perhaps we didn't visit them often enough. Perhaps we were not as close as we could have been. We have a Pesach Sheni. We have a second opportunity. Or perhaps as children, we have made mistakes. We have spurned our mothers and fathers. Perhaps we have not provided a role model for them. Perhaps we did not give them values, and now our children are in trouble. We have a second opportunity. We have a second chance to come close to them. Or perhaps in our businesses, we've made mistakes. We've hired the wrong employees. We have purchased the wrong merchandise. We've not advertised properly. We have a second chance, a second opportunity. Or perhaps in our relationship with our neighbors, we are not close. We are hostile one with the other. We have misunderstood them. And now they live right next to us, and we never even talk to them. A second chance. Or with friends, we have come to an argument with our closest friends, and we have broken off relationships. Perhaps we were selfish. Or in education, perhaps we should have pursued another major in college. Perhaps we should have cultivated appreciation for music, for art, for the importance of religion. I ask a question on this morning of the second Passover. If you had a choice, if you had the possibility of doing something different, something has haunted you all the years, something different, What would you do that was different in your marriage, in your relationship to your husband or to your wife? Would you live in the same home? Would you have moved to the same city? Would you have made the same investments on the stock market? Would you be in the same business? Or would you have a different profession? I ask the wives, if you had the opportunity, would you want a second husband, a different husband? Or husbands, a different wife? I hope not. Would you have chosen different friends? Would you belong to a different synagogues? Would you have gambled? Or would you have turned to drink? Perhaps some of you would say you would make no major change. You are very happy with every decision that you have ever made. I doubt if there's anybody who could come to that conclusion. We have missed opportunities in our lives. We always say, if I had done this, or if I had not done this, if I had spent more time with our children, if I had visited a doctor when I had pains in my chest, or if my husband had not gone on the flight. There's always a way for us to say if for the mistakes that we have made. Sometimes, more than sometimes, oftentimes, we envy or we want to desire the things that we don't have. The story is told of a fisherman who was on his little boat in the Mediterranean in Italy. And he looked up above and he saw a magnificent palace where a person was living. And the prince who lived in the palace came out on the patio. And the prince looked at the fisherman. And the fisherman looked at the prince. And the fisherman said to himself, "Oh, I would love to be like that prince. He has a beautiful palace. He has no problems. He has food to eat. He has many, many servants. How I wish I had what he has." And at the same time, the fisherman looking down, the prince looking down at the fisherman in the boat said, "Oh, how I envy that man with a fishing rod in his hand. He has no problems. He has no anxieties. He has no responsibilities. How I wish I could be a fisherman and sit in a boat with a rod in my hand." And so the fisherman envies the prince, and the prince envies the fisherman. If we had it all over again to do, if we had a second chance, we would be much better off not to envy and not to seek what we cannot have. We do have a second chance. We do have a second opportunity. Passover can teach us. We are alive. We have family. We have security. We have so many, many loved ones. We have so much to be grateful for. We can tell our dear ones how much we love them, how much we need them. We have the opportunity for a second chance. There's a saying that we must take our stumbling blocks and use them for stepping stones. I think that's a wonderful aphorism, to step up on stepping stones and learn from the stumbling blocks of the past. Today is the first day of the rest of our lives. Let us take advantage of them. No, nothing is hopeless. Just as Passover tells us we can have a second chance, we do have a second chance. As parents, as husbands, as wives, as children, as employers, as friends, we have a second opportunity. We have a second chance. There are two prayers in our prayer book. 3 times a day in the Shemona Esrei, we say 2 different prayers. Of the 18, one of them is Salach Lanu, forgive us, and the other is Modim, I am grateful for. This is a wonderful, wonderful lesson for us. We should say Salach Lanu, we regret our mistakes of the past, and Modim, we are so grateful for the many, many blessings that are given to us. The Hebrew word for opportunity is hizdamnut, and it is derived from the Hebrew word zman. Opportunity is when we take advantage of the time. Last year is a 10 canceled check. Next year is a promissory note. Today is ready cash. Let us spend it wisely. None of us will ever forget the weeks and months that have passed. The terror. We'll never forget the flu shot, the flu that is so prevalent. We'll never forget the riots. We'll never forget the looting and the violence, the arson. I hope that we will learn our lesson when we return back to normalcy. The evil of racism, the evil of white supremacy, the evil of police brutality, the evil of prejudice. May we do tshuva, which is another very important Jewish common value. May we return. May we go back. May we live in this wonderful country in equal terms. This country of equality. May we live and appreciate liberty, opportunity, justice, and blessing for all of us, black and white and brown and Catholic and Protestant and Jewish. May we make the best use of the days to come. As we say with the prophet, Ki nafalti kamti, though I have fallen, I will rise again. Amen. Shabbat shalom.
Rabbi, thank you once again for wonderful, wonderful words. Shabbat shalom, and my blessings to you and to your family. Take good care.
Shabbat shalom to you.
Stay well.
Okay, all done. How many minutes was it?
12 minutes.
12 minutes. Okay, that's
I
good.
think he's still there.